What's up, Photography Mafia? We'll review DxO PhotoLab 9 and cover its new features in this tutorial. I'm using a beta version, so the production version may perform or look a little different. Let's get started. The biggest and most important update to DxO PhotoLab 9, in my opinion, is the new AI masking, which will allow it to compete with Lightroom and other similar photography software. So let's take a look at that. I'll go to the local adjustments tool right here, and I'll activate the AI mask by clicking on this icon. And now we can see below there's a few AI masking options available. I'm first going to try this area subject right here. So I'm going to add an area. I'm going to click, hold, and drag and try to select this butterfly, which is a zebra long wing. And let's take a look at that. So it looks like it did a pretty good job. I'll change the overlay to black and white, and that did a pretty good job, it looks like. I can also use the selection icon right here, or the selection tool. I'm going to reset the mask by clicking reset here. I'm going to select the selection tool, and then I can move my cursor around and then select any type of object or subject the AI masking notices. But I'll go back to this butterfly, I'll click on it, and it looks like it did a pretty good job. I'll go to the black and white overlay. That looks pretty good. And by the way, I can refine this mask by using the masking brush tools here or some of the negative selection tools right here to refine this mask, but I'll just keep it like this. And what I'm going to do is I want to bring in more of the yellow and the contrast on this butterfly. So while I'm in the mask section, I'm going to increase the contrast. I'm going to zoom in a little bit actually. And then I'm going to increase the micro contrast. That looks good. And while I have the yellow hue selected, I'm going to increase the saturation. And I think that looks good. So I'm going to go to fit view and I'll show you the before and after with the AI mask. So that looks pretty good, but one issue is with the lantanas or these flowers in the background, they have a little bit of yellow in them as well. So I want to select the lantanas and desaturate the yellow. So one option I can do is I can go to the subject selection tool right here, which will automatically select different objects or subjects in a mask. And I'm going to select flowers. Now let's see how that does. So it looks like DxO PhotoLab 9 selected these flowers here, as well as this one here, as well as this one here. But since I'm going to do some color or selective coloring, this is good for now. I'll show you the black and white overlay. I'll go back to the color overlay, and I'm still on the yellow hue right here. And I'm just going to desaturate the yellow this time. And that looks good. The flowers or the petals look a little bit more white now. I'll show you with it overcooked at 100, but I'll keep it at -100. So I think that looks good. And I'll go back to the hand tool and let's take a look at the before and after. Before and after. So with the AI masking, I was able to add more focus in on the zebra longwing butterfly here and desaturate some of the yellow in the lantana flower. I can also make some final adjustments by going to the effects tool. I can drop down to the creative vignette, add a vignette just like that. And I think that looks a lot better. So let's see the before and after, before and after. So with the AI masking, I was able to select the butterfly as well as a little bit of the flowers or the yellow here much faster. This little guy was photographed at ISO 6400. And if we zoom in 1:1 on this image, you can see quite a bit of noise in the background, and it's lacking some detail as well here on the Andean emerald hummingbird. By the way, I photographed this bird in Colombia, where I'm currently at and recording this video. Anyways, going back to the noise, this is with the standard noise reduction. So if I uncheck this, you can see there's quite a bit of noise, and you can even see the chroma noise. But let me reactivate this And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crop this photo a little bit because we don't need all of this dead or negative space. And I'm going to go to 1:1. I think that's good enough. And I'm going to keep it like this and like this. And I think I'm going to keep it like that, and I'll just accept it that way. Now what we can do is test the DeepPRIME 3 or the XD2. Usually I like the XD2, so I'm going to click on this. We're not going to see a preview right away, so we do need to go to the loop view, just like that. It does take a few seconds to process, and voila, it looks a lot better. You can see how clean the bokeh in the background is, or the blur. The bird definitely looks a lot better. But we can add a little bit more detail to the hummingbird, the Andean emerald hummingbird. So what I'm going to do is with the local adjustment, I'm going to click on here. I'm going to click on the mask AI tool. I'll go down here and then click animals, and it's automatically going to select this bird. That looks good. And now we can actually play with the DeepPRIME technology using a local adjustment. And if I move down here, the DeepPRIME XD2S that I applied is right here. And I'm going to force some detail back into this bird, into this beautiful hummingbird. And I need to reactivate the loop view just to make sure we can see it. And it's going to take a few seconds to process. So it looks like there is a little bit more detail. I can crank it up a little bit more, let's say 260. And we'll see how long it takes to process and see if there's a noticeable difference. And I think that looks a little bit better. But if I want to see some real detail or sharpness, I can use the sharpness slider. And I'm going to overcook it. I'm going to go to 50 just to show you an example. So now you can definitely see the edge detail or the edge sharpness. But I'm going to decrease it to about, let's say 20. And I want to see if that looks good. Yeah, I think that still looks good. And before I show you the before and after, I think what I can do is add some saturation and vibrance to make this little guy pop. I like how it's looking. And let's see the before and after with the local adjustments. This is the before and this is the after. It does take a few seconds to apply the masking due to the AI and the DeepPRIME, but it's starting to look good right now. So this is another big change to DxO PhotoLab 9, the ability to adjust the DeepPRIME with the local adjustments. But wow, look how this guy looks. Looks a lot better than when we started. DxO PhotoLab 9 now allows us to batch rename image files using preset data. These photos I took with my drone, the DJI Mini 4 Pro, and I'm going to select the first photo and then shift select the other photo. I'm going to right click on them, select rename selected images. Now I have a few options to rename these photos. So I can use the preset, date, and file name. And here is the new file name that'll pop up, which I don't like. There's a few other ones as well, but I'm just going to delete these. I'm going to type in DJI Mini 4 Pro space, and then I think I'm going to go to EXIF information, type in or select the camera model. I'll double click on it. So this is the camera model. It's a funky name, not the usual Canon or Nikon that you see. I'll select space. And one important thing that you should be doing is putting in a sequence number. So a sequence or a counter number, because if I just leave it like this, it'll select or recreate the same name for all of these photos and may cause an error. So I'm just going to select this sequence number. So now you can see there's a 1 after it right here. And now I'll just select rename 10 images. And now you can see here in the viewer that the photos have been renamed to DJI Mini 4 Pro and so on. Now let me show you a bigger view. Let me increase the size, and here are the new file names. Similar to Lightroom, we can now stack photos in DxO PhotoLab 9. So with these drone photos, I can click on the first photo, shift click on the last photo, I can right click and then go to stacking and create a stack just like that. I can click on the number to expand the stack or to minimize it. There's also options to right click on them again, and then there's a few more options right here, including removing them from the stack. A major update in PhotoLab 9 is the support for Apple ProRAW photos, including the H-image file formats. These photos I took with my iPhone 12 Pro. They are DNG RAW files. And as you can see, I like taking photos of small vans in the green and blue hue range. But one thing to keep in mind is if you go to DxO modules under the Manage DxO modules, you'll see if I go to the Apple section, the last iPhone that was supported for the optics modules was the iPhone X. Since this is a beta version, I'm hoping in the future DxO does support the optics modules for the iPhone because iPhone photography is a big deal in photography in general. That goes for the same for the Google Pixel because there's no Google options right here, as well as the Samsung. The last Samsung module was for the Galaxy S5. So this is good news moving forward, but hopefully they do add the DxO lens optics modules for the iPhone and other phones, just because pretty much everyone has a phone with them when they're walking around, and it's pretty good for photography on the spot. And that wraps it up for this DxO PhotoLab 9 update. There are other small updates in the background, including performance improvements. But other than that, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. And as always, live easy, sleep breezy, and stay lovely.